Some people think synchronicity is just coincidence. But let me tell you something. The more you ignore the signs, the louder life starts to scream. And sometimes it screams through pain. What no one told you is that your spirit guides have already been trying to warn you. You just haven't learned how to listen. And as long as you treat these repeating patterns, sudden chills and strange dreams as meaningless, you'll keep spinning in the same cycle, unaware that the answer you've been seeking has already shown up many times in many different forms. That number you keep seeing everywhere, that stranger who told you exactly what you needed to hear, that sudden shiver that left you uneasy for no clear reason. None of that is random. These are signals, subtle but intentional. If you're here now, it's because on some level, you're ready to see what has always been there, hidden just behind the veil of logic. Your spirit guides are not waiting for you to be perfect. They're waiting for you to pay attention. This video will reveal 3 urgent synchronicities your spirit guides use when they want you to finally wake up. These signs aren't just messages, they're invitations. Invitations to shift, to grow, to align. And if you ignore them, you may miss the exact opportunity the universe has been trying to hand you, patiently, persistently over time. So ask yourself, are you really paying attention? Or are you still calling divine guidance a coincidence? There are moments when time seems to stop. You're in the middle of your day, distracted, and suddenly something disconnects you from reality. A strange feeling, a chill for no reason, a memory that appears out of nowhere. There's no logical explanation, but the truth is that these moments are spiritual triggers, subtle signs that your spirit guides are trying to wake you up to something greater. And the most curious part, almost no one talks about this. Most people brush it off as coincidence, when in fact it's the beginning of a subtle dialogue with the unseen. These signs tend to show up when you're about to repeat a pattern, make a wrong decision, or when your level of awareness begins to expand. It could be a conversation you overhear, a number that shows up 3 times in one day, or even just a deep sense that something is about to happen. Carl Jung called this synchronicity, events that seem accidental but carry deep meaning. It's not superstition, it's perception. When the soul is ready, the signs begin to scream, only in silence. The problem is, most people were never taught how to listen to that silence. They keep moving on autopilot, believing everything is just chance. But what if chance is simply a language you haven't learned to decode yet? What if pain, discomfort, and even that weird déjà vu are messages from a call you've been ignoring for far too long? The moment you start paying attention to these details, everything changes. And that's exactly when the most common synchronicity usually shows up. Have you ever looked at the clock and seen 11:11, then passed by a car with the license plate 222, and suddenly, when paying for something, the total came out to 33.33? These number repetitions aren't random, they're signs. Your spirit guides use these codes to grab your attention, like placing a vibrational marker that says, "Hey, you're exactly where you need to be to awaken." Carl Jung would call this a meaningful accident, but most people see it, feel something strange, and move on, as if nothing happened. Each number holds a specific frequency, an energetic field that connects directly to your emotional and spiritual state. For example, 111 is about aligning your thoughts with the reality you want to create. 555 usually shows up during periods of major transformation. And no, you don't need to be a numerologist to understand this. All it takes is observing, noting when it shows up, and paying attention to what you're feeling in that moment. This simple practice, like keeping a synchronicity journal, can begin to shift your entire perception of the invisible. What seems like coincidence is actually a coded message. The universe doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you don't stop to listen, the signs grow louder until they show up as pain. When a number sequence appears over and over again, it's a warning. It's as if your spirit guides are saying, you're ready to understand what you used to ignore. And it's usually at this point that other, even more personal synchronicities begin to appear. You know those moments when someone says something in passing that feels like it was written just for you? Or when a random video pops up in your feed and it's exactly what you needed to hear at that exact moment? That's not just the algorithm. It's a sign. Spirit guides use these subtle coincidences as a direct form of delivery. They know you're most open when you're relaxed or distracted, so they take advantage of that vibrational state to send messages with surgical precision. These synchronicities usually happen on days of deep doubt or when you're on the edge of an important decision. It's as if the universe places someone in your path, sometimes a stranger, sometimes someone close, to say exactly what your soul needs to hear. A friend casually telling you, trust the process. A book falling open to the perfect page, or even a stranger on the bus saying something that lights a spark inside you. Carl Jung said the collective unconscious speaks through these subtleties. The key is being present enough to notice. These messages don't arrive with a soundtrack or fireworks. They come as whispers that echo loudly in your soul. And when it happens, you feel it. It's like the words vibrate differently, touching something inside you that you didn't even know was there. When these signs appear, the best thing you can do is pause and write down, what did you feel? What did it remind you of? Because soon after, the signs will begin to move even deeper into your inner world. There's a kind of synchronicity that doesn't come from the outside. It happens within you. It's when your body starts reacting without any obvious reason. Chills that appear out of nowhere, a sudden cold sensation on a warm day, or even a lump in your throat during a conversation that should feel ordinary. These bodily signals are a form of energetic language. Spirit guides use your own body as an instrument of alert when your mind is too distracted to catch the message. And guess what? It works. It also happens in dreams. Strangers offering advice, symbols that repeat night after night, or even visions of light beings handing you something before disappearing. Dreams are fertile ground for spirit guides to plant information. In that space, without the resistance of the ego, you're finally ready to listen. The practical tip here is simple but powerful. Keep a notebook by your bed. Write everything down, even if it doesn't make sense. Over time, patterns will start to emerge. And don't ignore that sudden gut feeling or physical reaction. The body feels what the mind hasn't processed yet. Carl Jung spoke about this. The unconscious shows itself before the conscious mind can register the message. Sometimes that unease is simply a "don't go down this path." Sometimes the chills are a "yes, you finally understood." The wisdom lies in stopping, feeling, asking, and above all, listening. Because once the inner signs start to appear, it's only a matter of time before something begins shifting on the outside too. Noticing a sign is one thing, but knowing what to do with it, that's a whole different story. Some people recognize the synchronicities, feel the chills, have vivid dreams, and still go right back to their routine as if nothing ever happened. And that's where the magic gets lost. Your spirit guides aren't sending you messages by accident. They're waiting for your response. And that response begins with a concrete action, even a small one that says, "I heard you." You don't have to change your entire life overnight or become a monk in the Himalayas, but you do need to act. If you keep dreaming about the same place every week, why not look up its symbolic meaning? If you're constantly seeing 333, why not research what that frequency represents and how it might relate to your current moment? Sometimes, just writing down what you're feeling can start to unlock the next layer of messages. Because in the spiritual world, intention counts as the first step, and action creates transformation. So here's the invitation. What synchronicity have you noticed? Which one touched you the most? Share it in the comments, not just for me, but for yourself and for the people who will read it. Your comment might be the confirmation someone else needs to trust their own signs. And more than that, when you write it down, you anchor it into the physical world. Ignoring this kind of calling is like leaving a wrapped gift sitting on the table. And some things, if you don't open them now, might disappear with time. Now that you understand how your spirit guides are trying to reach you, be honest with yourself. Are you still going to treat these signs as just your imagination? Are you going to keep ignoring the synchronicities the universe is sending you every single day? Or are you finally going to start paying real attention? Because one thing is certain, those who ignore the subtle get corrected by the brutal. And most people only change when life gets hard. But you don't have to wait until it gets to that point. So tell me in the comments, which of these signs has already shown up in your life? Which one did you notice but ignore? And which one do you promise to start taking seriously from now on? Write it down, share it. Because when you speak it, you activate it. And when you activate it, you inspire others. And hey, if this video resonated with you, if it unlocked something inside, if it awakened a truth that had been asleep, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and stay with us on this journey. Because this is just the beginning, and the next signs might be closer than you think.